Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mo We Talk. We talk football, and I just got off the back of another win. Congratulations, Chelsea. Chelsea two, Chelsea two, Fulham nil. Yeah, but I must say, at first, especially the first half for me, I was not impressed. I was not impressed with the first half. We seemed rather toothless to me. I don't know about you guys, what you think, but to me, we seemed very toothless. In fact, we just didn't look sharp from in fact, the part that looked sharp was the defense because they were the ones that kept on working and in terms of keeping Fulham out. The midfield, the attack, everything just went like we were not sharp at all. I was just watching. I'm like, Fulham is in control of this game, and my mind started going to places like, look, the Club World Cup. I'm worried. As much as it was a great run, a great victory, big trophy. Shout out to the haters, and it's just I'm worried that it may take its toll on us at some point this season. So they just didn't look sharp, and I'm like, I don't know, man. This Club World Cup, especially with the amount of games we have this season. Like, have you guys seen it? It's crazy. We have Bayern Munich very soon. It's mad with the Champions League draw. Barcelona's in there, Napoli's in there, and this is just the early phase before knockouts. We have crazy, high, intense games, and yeah, which brings me to another point that I noticed in the first half against Fulham. I felt the same way against that in our game against Crystal Palace. They just seemed to overpower us. And that's when my mind just kept on going to, oh my God, fatigue, fatigue, fatigue. But thankfully, luck was kind of on our side. Let's call it a spade a spade. Luck was actually on our side. There was Muniz, a breakaway move, and slices a ball through to King, a brilliant player, 18 years old, and my man runs through our defense, of course, through Chaloba and Malo Gusto's side. That's the right side, which for me is a massive, should I say, weak point, especially looking at our lineup. You could just see that, yeah, this side is going to be there's a weakness here. And King runs right through, and the man goes, what's his name? Tossing actually catches up, but the fact that the boy was so calm and composed, cuts back in and takes a shot in between Tossing's leg and beats Sanchez, sends Sanchez flying the wrong way, and the ball goes into the net, and I'm like, here we go again, West Ham. The same feeling that we had when Paqueta took that beautiful long range shot, and it went in, and I'm like, So VAR stops the game and calls the referee's attention to look at a possible foul before the goal, to the build up to the build up to the goal, and you could see Muniz spins and stops on the steps on the on Chaloba, which takes Chaloba out of play, but it just felt. I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me. Even the commentators, they said that where else was he going to place his leg? It was a turn. It was a turn, and there was nowhere. Chaloba had already set himself underneath him, and he steps. And it's not like as if it was an intentional thing. Like he saw him and steps on him, and like they said, in slow motion, it looks bad, but when you look at it in real time, it's so quick. It happened so fast. He just turned and unfortunately gets Chaloba's legs. However, this is the part that I don't agree with the commentators, especially the commentators. You cannot say because it was not intentional, it is not a foul. Do you get me? There are so many things that can happen on the pitch that aren't intentional but are fouls. You can't say, okay, what? I'm going after a ball, I'm looking at the ball, it's an aerial ball, and I'm trying to clip it in mid-air with my boots. I don't see a defender or another player coming in. The player comes in and I raise my leg yay high and I try to get the ball or get the player in the face. It's not intentional. Does that mean it's no longer a foul? It's still a foul. A foul is a foul. You start on a you guys talking in the commentary section. I want you all to put your foot, each of you, both of you, a guy and a lady, put your feet, and let me step on it. Then you let me know how it feels. It's a foul, regardless. But yes, it felt a little hard done. It felt a little bit hard done, especially on the 18-year-old, which for me, I had an issue, I had an issue with the commentators because they just kept on talking based on sentiment. I'm like, do your job. Do your job. Why are you so sentimental? He's an 18-year-old. So what? Get over it. He's young. He will score more goals. We can't just say, because he's 18 years old, it's okay. You can step on Chaluba, but let's allow it. He's 18. It's his first goal for Fulham. No. Come on, guys. So the game goes on, and it started to look a little bit 50-50. Yeah? It started to look a little bit 50-50, but I still wasn't satisfied, I still wasn't satisfied. Yeah, you could see the likes of Caicedo picking up gradually. But, sorry, I digress. I missed another important thing. Before the goal, something happened, and it had me thinking, or should I say worried. Liam Delap started this game. Liam Delap looks like he may have pulled his hamstring. I'm hoping not. I hope not. But it didn't look good. He held his thigh and he went to ground shortly after. And I'm like, okay. And we have Cole Palmer, who isn't even playing because he's injured. And I'm like, oh my God, if Liam Delap joins with the kind of fixtures we have coming up, you see, this for me is why I wanted a Xavi Simon. Because there will come a time in this season, mark my word, because it's going to happen. The Club World Cup will at some point take its toll on these players. I'm praying that it doesn't, but let's be real. And when it does, when you start having players falling like flies, you need, I don't know how to explain it, because when you see Liam Delap falling off, it would have helped if Cole Palmer was playing and Joao Pedro goes up front. And now we have to call young Tyrick George to come in and play, which of course he didn't even last the whole 90 minutes. What do you expect? He's a kid. Anyway, back to the post first goal. We start to come alive a little bit. It was starting to look a little bit 50-50 to me, even though the possession didn't really say so. And we're playing and we're starting to ask more questions. And I'm like, okay, this is looking good. Even Malo Gusto started to wake up in his play. I didn't see much of Pedro Neto today, the Pedro Neto that I know. Even Esteval, what can I say? He's a kid. He's fantastic. He's a good player, but not his best day. And there's this thing that I've noticed with him, judging from West Ham and this game. Esteval seems to waste a micro or 2 seconds too much to hit the ball. I would really appreciate it that when he has a goal scoring opportunity, don't think, hit the ball. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like Jackson, because Jackson takes his sweet time with his sweet extra touch. But it's like milliseconds, microseconds for me that it takes. Just hit the ball one time. Be instinctive. Be more instinctive. That's the word. Be more instinctive on your attempts at goal. That's just all I just have to say for Esteban. But he's a fine player. I'll give him time. I don't want to put any sort of pressure on him. So the game continues, and there's the second half begins because Joao Pedro. Sorry, my mistake. What am I thinking? The game continues, but the Kings goal, however, was called back by by VAR because of that step on Chalobah. My head is all over the place, guys. Forgive me. So they call it back, and we're looking at it, and I'm like, come on, it's obvious. So they cancel the goal, and we move on with the game. And like I said, the game started to look a little bit 50-50 for me. So towards the dying part of the game, I have to say, Chelsea actually do look good with set pieces now. I must say, especially with corners. So we shout out to Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez, his crosses into the ball, they were very, very good. I must say. They were very, very good. They just kept on going near post. So he takes one at what was supposed to be like the last attempt of the first half, and he takes one, and none other, step right up, Joao Pedro, my man. This guy has scored 5 goals for Chelsea now in competitive games. That's including the Club World Cup. 2 in the Premier League so far in 3 games, and 2 assists. Come on. This guy is starting to give me Diego Costa vibes. Although, I think at this point, Diego Costa was 7, I guess, something crazy like that. So, he makes it 1-0 with a beautiful glancing header, back post, and it goes in. 1-0 Chelsea. And the first half is over. Second half begins. And in similar fashion, the way it ended, Chelsea starting to peak. We start to peak a little bit more. And shout out to Cucurella. Cucurella, for me, I know, yes, but there were a couple of things that he did I really loved. If it wasn't for Joao Pedro, I'd probably give it to Cucurella. Yes, at some point, Caicedo stepped up. Even Malo Gusto tried, but there's a little bit of bias there, Cucurella. So, the second half picks up, and it starts in similar fashion. And you could see Fulham, they were really energetic. And I love that about their game. You see Iwobi, you see Bassi, and you see these guys there. And that's what scares me in the Premier League this season. Because a similar thing that happened to us with Crystal Palace, they were so energetic. And we just were a little bit lackluster in a way and stuff. But we were waking up, growing into the game gradually. And finally, we finally get a big opportunity with Chalobah hitting the ball, and I think it hits a Fulham player's arm. You can see that he comes right out. That's a penalty any day, anytime. He tries to make himself look big, and the ball hits his arm, and the Chelsea players are all screaming and saying, "Oh, handball, handball, handball." I didn't even see it at first until that call. So, and with having a look at the replay, and you could see that VAR, they were a little bit confused. Like, there was an incident before that where the ball kind of hits Joao Pedro's forearm, and it kept on going between that back and forth with the VAR until the VAR calls the referee's attention. And I'm looking at it and I'm listening to the commentators. Commentators, I'm coming for you guys today. They just kept on, I don't know, it felt like, I said, they were just sympathetic to Fulham, especially since that 18-year-old King's disallowed goal. Everything, they're just, no, Fulham this, Fulham that. Look at it. Try not to be biased. You could see clearly that in the case of Joao Pedro, he wasn't trying to prevent the ball. He was trying to guard the ball in his possession, and the ball was hit to his hand, and you can clearly see him try to take his hand off. And you're there, the commentators are basically saying, "Oh no, Joao Pedro, there's a possible hand." Come on, guys, what are we doing? So you could see, look at the difference between Joao Pedro's and the Fulham's handball. He stretches his hand and his leg when you can clearly see the shot being played right at you. You're trying to make yourself look big. That is an unnatural position while you're seeing the ball coming towards you. Joao Pedro's own was not, he didn't expect it was ball to hand, which you could clearly see him taking his hand off. So that shouldn't even come into play. Clear penalty for me. Referee, good decision. But I kind of felt for Fulham because things just didn't go their way, and it kind of felt like they were hard done. Yeah, I understand. I understand how they may feel. Anyway, step right up, Enzo Fernandez, direct, straight down the middle. He hits the Fulham goalkeeper's legs though, but because it went in with such power, goes right into the net, and we're 2-0. And that for me was pretty much lights out for Fulham. I mean, there was really nothing, and you could see after the second goal, Chelsea came alive. Chelsea really came alive. We're now holding the ball, bopping the ball around, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I wanted to see from the very beginning. Anyway, at some point, I give fair play to Fulham because you could even see that they themselves were coming alive in the dying stages of the game. We made substitutes. Tyree George, who came in for Liam Delap, had to be taken out. Reece James comes in, Santos comes in, and I think who else? I don't remember. Yeah, I think that was it. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Let me know in chat. So for me, it was a good game, and Joao Pedro also had opportunities that he missed again. However, I could understand. I cut him some slack. I mean, you've already scored. Come on, you've already scored. However, there was one opportunity. That Joao Pedro had. It was a one-on-one, and I was like, dude, Tyree George is right there, unmarked. Don't be selfish. At least this one time, destroy the game, make it 3-0. But no, my man decides to say, you know what, I'm going to take this myself. And the goalkeeper stops him in his tracks. And that was that for that. He did have a couple more opportunities, but the ball didn't, he didn't get to the ball on time. Anyway, all in a nutshell, it was an average performance. We got away with the win, which is what you'd expect. Days when you don't do well, at least get the win, get a result, even in days that you don't do so well. Yeah, so those are the little things that for me that places you up there, because there will come games where you will not perform and you have to still grind out results. Fair play to the defense for standing their ground, even though at some point they looked kind of shaky, but they stood their ground. Great game, not great game, good game, average game, but we win, we carry 3 points, we move. 7 points now, top of the table, but for the time being, because others will play, and I think there is a big clash between Arsenal and Liverpool. That one, very tasty. I will watch that one. Anyway, guys, it was a quick one. As you could tell, my head was all over the place in the video, but please don't let that stop you from liking, subscribing, and sharing. See you guys in another one. Look forward to more reviews, more videos that we'll talk about. And hopefully Chelsea can keep on getting these results. Yeah, good games, bad games, average games, just keep getting the results. So thank you very much for your time. I'll see you guys in another one. Take care. God bless.